KKHT wants you to meet three of the classiest guys in real estate.
I am Chris Kelso, the maestro of mortgage.
I am Rob Cook, the godfather of real estate.
And I'm Joe Orsack, the king of credit swing. And together, we're the Real Estate Rat Pack. Much like us, real estate right now is smoking hot. So whether it's buying, selling, or owning, you need to check out the Real Estate Rat Pack.
They're here to take your calls and answer your questions live. Call now, 1-800-808-5548. And now, the Real Estate Rat Pack.
Welcome to the really big show.
Good morning, Joe. How are you this morning?
I am fantastic.
We have missing in action today is Chris Kelso. He's in an undisclosed location. We had to make
Man
an undisclosed location because we didn't want the hordes of fans following him. He wants to be able to enjoy his family time. So you have Joe and Rob today, and we have several guests today. So, Joe, would you like to start with introducing the guests that you brought in today?
We have a full house of folks today, and we have a really fun show planned today. And this may sound crazy. It could be a really, really short show today, Rob, because our topic is how to position your house to sell for the most money.
And I'm telling everybody, just put a sign in your front yard.
We're done.
However,
let's just shoot the bull.
There are some things, and isn't that what we usually do?
Yeah.
However, there are some things that can further enhance the value of your home. And today, of course, that Joey, you actually invited to have Tish Rayford on. Say hello, Tish.
Good morning.
And she is a home stager, and we're going to talk about home staging. We also have a mutual friend, is Vaughan Pederson, who is going to talk about a chemical process, a catalytic process that actually will make your house free of odor.
Good morning. Good to see you all this morning. It's a great day in Houston.
And you notice how I asked you to introduce everybody, and then, of course, I took over that job. And then, of course, one of our sponsors, whose son also takes care of our website and things of that nature, is Steve Belland. It has Belco Clean. Belco. It says Belco Clean right here, right on the card. It says it. I've got it. So I hate it when you disagree with me. So welcome, Steve.
Well, thank you, and thanks for having me on.
And also in the house is from the Will and Will brokerage firm out in the Spring Woodlands area is Nick Will. Good morning.
Good morning. Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for coming. I think our new sponsor, Capital Title, has actually invited Nick to be with us. And,
yes, Nick is
we're
a
pretty
guest
excited.
of our new sponsors.
Yeah, they finally understand the program.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's a chance to reach out to your clients and customers and say, hey, let me do this for you. So,
well, it's part of the giving nature of our show.
Absolutely.
The show is all about providing great information, and Capital Title says, hey, you know what? We don't need to talk about title insurance every show that you guys have. We want to put some experts on and have them chat about what they do.
I mean, you can't exhaust the subject, right?
That's right.
And so, we want people with different perspectives. And, again, everybody we bring into the studio are experts. So we never have to rehearse it. Does anyone think we have a script here?
I gotta hope not.
Oh, my gosh. But we are totally unscripted. So, Tish, we're going to start with you. And a lot of people have heard of home staging. Tell us exactly what that is.
Unlike they show on TV, it is not a 30-minute process. Home staging is the art of dressing your house to make it appeal to the broadest group of buyers possible. We neutralize, we depersonalize, and we make people, when they walk in, they fall in love with it and want to buy it. That's it.
So, well, tell us what you exactly do, because we were talking about homes that are beautifully decorated. You said, well, it's not the same thing. When you're positioning your house to enhance its value and to sell quickly, that you do something different than what maybe an interior decorator might do, or interior designer. I know they hate that term, interior decorator. Don't ever call it a designer or a decorator, because you will hear a 30-minute dissertation of why they're different.
And nor call a home stager an interior decorator, because we're two totally different professions. Home staging. The difference between home staging and decorating is that in decorating, the whole idea is to showcase your possessions and showcase the things that you love and make the home appealing for your own personal taste. In staging, what we want to do is pretty much take you out of the house. We want to make it so that anybody that walks in the house can see themselves there, so that they don't get so sucked into your family photos and your beautiful items that they can't imagine their own stuff in the place.
You know, the whole concept of today's show is making sure that no matter what the market is looking like, no matter how busy a market is or how slow a market is, that the home is positioned for the best value. This is, for most people in life, this is their biggest investment, and you want to see the best return on your investment. So that's the idea of this show. Is creating that bang for the buck on your investment. So, Tish, we were talking earlier before the show a little bit about some statistics here, and sometimes those are actually interesting.
And it was something I didn't know.
Yeah, me either.
And because right now, and I was talking with Nick earlier about appraisals, and the houses were getting great prices, but oftentimes it's not coming in the appraised value. And you gave me a statistic about that houses that are staged actually get how much more?
On average, about 7 to 8%.
7 to 8%, that's substantial.
That's your real estate fee.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And plus
something
some.
like that, and plus some. But I think the one that'll appeal to realtors more than that is the fact that National Home Gain Survey, I think most realtors know what National Home Gain is according to them, the statistics for your return on a staging investment is over 500%.
Wow.
Oh, my.
Which doesn't mean that your house is going to sell for 500% more, obviously.
Yeah.
We wish. Boy, I wouldn't be able to get any rest at all.
We couldn't get you on air.
You'd
be too busy.
That's right. But it just means that you're going to get fewer price reductions, less knockoffs for things that people walk through the house and perceive to devalue it.
Gotcha.
So when would somebody call you?
Optimally, before you ever put the house on the market. A staging friend of mine says that putting your house on the market before it's ready and staged is like showing up for a job interview in your pajamas. They may have called you, but if you show up in the pajamas, no way.
I see Vaughan over there has got a punchline for it, but hold your comments over there.
I got 3. I can't use any of them.
Vaughan is a bit of a jokester. That's why we always enjoy having him with us.
Yeah.
So anyway, in the process, okay, so I call you up. I haven't even spoken with the broker yet. I haven't called Nick yet.
Right.
And so would you typically work with me directly, or do you typically work with realtors, or tell me how you typically work?
We work either way. I have a lot of direct clients, and then the majority of our contacts, though, do come from the real estate agents. My company, we've got a little over 80 realtors on our roster. We're geared up to hit about 300 houses this year. So, but we'll work with either way. And most home stagers, the goal of a good home stager is to make the realtor the hero in the transaction. So if the realtor...
We are the heroes.
You betcha, darling. So if the realtor calls us in and then sends us there, then the realtor is the one that looks like they saved the day and made sure they did everything possible to make sure that house was as marketable as it could be.
And I'm looking at your card here. You've got some designations on there. ASP, HSP. Tell me what that means.
You mean her last hyphenated name isn't Asplash?
No, Joe, I don't think that is.
No, but if you can say that 3 times, I'll go change it to that.
What all are all those initials?
ASP is Accredited Staging Professional, and IAHSP is the International Association of Home Staging Professionals, of which I'm the education chairperson for the Greater Houston chapter.
Now, I know you teach realtors
Yes,
to
sir.
do this. Do you also work with homeowners to do the classes as well, or if anyone ever asked you? Or
I haven't gotten into doing that much, but I do, as part of the process, we teach the homeowners what they're doing. The stagers, on TV, they have the whole wow thing where they send the people off and then they bring them back and, oh, it's so beautiful, it's so wonderful. I hate that.
The reveal.
Yeah.
It's the reveal.
the opinions of the speaker are not the opinions of this station.
And so what ends up happening, though, is that seller is not educated at that point. They don't know why you did what you did and where you stuck all their stuff and why you put that chair over there and that plant over there, and they're not comfortable with it. And so as soon as you leave, they fix it back like they're comfortable with it.
Yes.
Yeah, they don't get the base. And I found that, and I'm glad you brought that about educating, because that's the number one thing I always tell people. I'm not really that good at a salesperson, but I'm a really good educator, and I can tell you what we're going to do and why we're going to do it and things of that nature. So I've got a typical house, and we've got a little clutter here. We've got personal family photos here, and then some very dead animals on the wall and things like that.
No dead critters.
My collection
No
of
dead
stuffed
critters.
iguanas.
So tell me what you can do, and more importantly, tell me how you're going to tell them that they probably ought to
Them there
kind of
critters.
reposition that dead animal on the wall to some of
Them
the
there critters,
location
they gotta go.
like storage.
Well, we practice the theory of stroke them before you slap them.
Woo!
You heard it here, folks.
We go in and we talk about, they do have some beautiful things, and there's obviously some direction that they were going with their design, and we can appreciate that from their personal perspective. However, there are those people out there who aren't quite sophisticated enough to possibly appreciate that particular direction.
So
That's
politically
sugarcoating
correct in
right,
that
That's
sense.
sugarcoating right there.
Well, that's the kind of stroke them. And then when it
Yeah.
comes to slap them is when I walk in and I go, you know what, this room smells like dog. We got to get a cleaner in here.
And that'll be a segue into another segment we have, because I know somebody in this room that knows how to get rid of that odor.
We need to work together.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, we're all about making connections for
I
each other.
love it.
So
And what
we
I've
bring
known
people
a
on.
lot, my thing, and I've done a little minor stage and things like when someone doesn't want to, expend the money, but nowadays I think most people are realizing the value of it. But I am the clutter Nazi, and of course people with the Nazi parties, please don't contact us.
Yes.
But
The anti-clutter Nazis are.
I tell them to get rid of
It's
all
a
their
metaphor.
They're
Yes.
upset.
It's a metaphor. That's right. I'm on stage here now. Get rid of the personal photos. Get rid of all the personal stuff. And if it's a kitchen countertops and things like that, I actually had to stage a house so that and again, I don't do it to your proficiency. Trust
No.
me. But I had
know.
to clear off all their countertops.
Oh, bazinga!
Brutal honesty. Good grief. Yeah, you fit right in with this group. I promise you.
Sugarcoating is gone.
Yeah, it's gone. And I actually did one over in Bel Air. It's a nice, very expensive house in Bel Air. I had them clear off the counter completely, and they decided not to sell the house. But from that day forward, they loved the house not being cluttered anymore, so they left it in that position. So, tell me what you would do when you walked in the house. And just say you're starting at the front and you're heading to the back. I mean, what are the typical things you would do?
Yeah, as just to jump in real quick with that question, just to say again, as always, folks, everybody we bring on the air is an expert at what they do, and as much fun as we play and all that sort of thing, it makes it sound kind of tongue in cheek and easy and all that sort of thing. But these folks are experts at what they do, and that's why we can be silly and have fun like this, because it just comes easy to them. So
Well, it comes easy to us to be silly. That's for sure.
yeah, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. So here, first thing I always like to tell folks is we're going to pry some expert knowledge out of you right here. Never replace an expert, but give some great tips to our listeners here for home staging.
The very first thing that you need to make sure for any real estate transaction, when your home is on the market, it has to be clean, 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 clean. I know that sounds like a practical thing, but that's one of the things that as stagers, we spend a lot of time going through homes, pointing out the areas that people miss because of the fact that they see it every day, and so they don't notice those things. You want your personal photos gone. Personal, partially because of its implication for your family. You don't want to have your children and your family advertised on the internet. You don't want your friends and coworkers who might be looking for homes coming through your house and noticing that, hey, wait a minute, I know this guy, I work with this guy, so I'm going to go and talk to him behind the realtor's back and see if I can get a deal and we can cut the realtor out. I've actually had clients have that happen to them.
Wow. Well, we're down to one more minute. So quickly before we run out of time here, how can folks get a hold of you?
You can reach me at, I'm on Facebook, Show Condition Home Staging is the name of the company, or you can call 832-816-5235. One more time, that's 832-816-5235, and my name is Tish Rayford, and we'd love to have the opportunity to earn your business, whether you're a realtor or a seller.
Well, Tish, we're going to ask you to stick around in case somebody calls in here. Folks, we've got a great home staging expert here today. Be sure to give us a call if you have any questions for her or some of our other guests. You can reach us at 800-808-5548. That's 800 808-5548. Wow,
Just
it's
can't
early.
get that
Those
down,
might
can
kill
you?
you.
I shift between those numbers. It's crazy. All right. We'll be right back.
Going home to a space that inspires you from the minute you walk in is a luxury we all dream about. Why not make it a reality? Guillen home design options are thoughtful and sophisticated and will continue to surprise you. A Guillen home means architectural details, impressive amenities, and dramatic design features that suit your individual taste. After all, you have a distinctive sense of style. Your home should too. Guillen Homes is consistently recognized for exceptional design, with awards including 2010 Builder of the Year, 2010 Star Awards, and Best Product Design. You want the best home for your family, and you also deserve the best home buying experience. Guillen Homes offers a personal approach to home building with a commitment to thorough professional service. Visit GuillenHomes.com to see special offers and promotions. That's GEHAN Homes.com. Guillen Homes, designed for your life.
I'll be right there. I've got to get the clothes out of the washing machine. Why is there soap everywhere, honey?
Not all home warranties are the same. OneGuard Home Warranties, in business for over 23 years, has plans designed for Texas. Whether you're buying, selling, or if you own a home, check out OneGuard's great protection for your home systems and appliances. They really offer more, including convenience features other companies haven't even thought of, like lawn fertilization and a very extensive pest control plans included, to name a few. Contact one of 3 awesome Houston home warranty representatives, Natasha, Sandra, and Bill, and see why they have one of the highest renewal rates in the industry. Call today or have your realtor or title company call OneGuard at 888-896-0014. That's 888-896-0014. Or visit them at OneGuardHomeWarranty.com. You've seen the rest. Now buy from the best. OneGuard Home Warranties.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Rat Pack Radio Show with Chris, Joe, and Rob. The crew is taking your calls, so dial in at 1-800-808-5548.
And we're back. I always love the cheesy intro line.
That is cheesy. That is,
And we're back.
that Ed McMahon syndrome.
Yeah. And now a word from our sponsors.
So anyway, we had a nice conversation with Tish about staging. Of course, we have some other people who kind of somebody Tish may call, and of course with Belco, we have somebody who can talk about carpet. You know, one of the I was talking earlier today before we started the show is that one of the biggest triggering factors for human beings is the olfactory sense. And in some of the things that will trigger good things or bad things are smells. And so let's lead into Steve, and let's talk, or Vaughan, whoever wants to kind of start this conversation. They kind of work together. So Steve, let's start with
Well, there's
you.
a difference, but Vaughan, I think you should probably go ahead and talk about.
Sure.
Well,
Yeah.
Sure, I'll be happy to. Actually,
where do we lose control?
I don't know. You guys just take it
We'll
from
take
here.
over.
I'll be back. I get some coffee.
I'm Vaughan Pederson, and I'm with Clean Air Services. We're a service company, and I provide the highest quality output biocleanser that's available for commercial and residential applications. What I do is it's a service treatment. It's basically 8 to 10 hours or more, depending on what the problem is.
Yeah, show them your Facebook page there.
There we go. This eliminates.
See? Look here.
I actually eliminate airborne and surface pathogens. So what I do actually goes up through the vents and through the air conditioning unit and sterilizes the home. Now this is different than what a lot of other people do. So I work hand in hand with people like Steve at Belco because I don't clean carpets. I don't replace carpets. But what I do is I actually provide a surface treatment that eliminates surface and airborne pathogens. And you kind of alliterated a little bit to it last week in a previous
alluded
I
to.
have not ever been seen alliterating. I deny that publicly. I don't know what he's talking about.
When you talked about
I'm a good Christian man, Vaughan.
what you don't know can hurt you.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
what grows in our ductwork in Texas and in Houston because of condensation and what we get pulled in through our air is it's never roses or tulips that grows in the ducts. It's always something that we don't want there. So what sets me apart, what makes me different, it's a service treatment, but also I have doctors and healthcare people that recommend me to their patients that have asthma or other respiratory problems. Also, I treat homes for people that have depressed immune systems because it actually is a sterilization process. It is electrocatalytic. It's a new type of technology, and it goes beyond just odors. It goes to actual, what you were talking about, Tish, in terms of the real deep cleaning. What this does is actually sterilizes all the surfaces in the air in the house. Now, does that mean you still need to have your carpet cleaned? Yeah. You really need Steve.
it's still
you really
stained,
need that
right?
done, right? You still need that. You still need.
It may
that
not
cleaned
stink,
on the
but it's
carpet.
still ugly.
Well, there's stains and things. That's right. So I eliminate smoke, mold, and odor, and all airborne and surface pathogens.
Which is pretty incredible. And also, Vaughan, you had shared with me in the past that people who are going through chemotherapy often should have this done because your immune system is attacked when people are going through chemo.
Exactly. And your indoor air quality is 30 times more likely to affect your health than the outdoor air quality because you spend a lot of time in your home. The air is recycled constantly. So when you talk about preparing your home for sale and you talk about first you should have it staged before, that's who you should talk to before you ever list it, then what you need to look at is having that home professionally sterilized from the standpoint of, you want to have the very best impression from people that are coming in that house. And if your house smells like a cat or if you have cat dander or smoke or, any number of other things, food odors, curry. I do a lot of curry houses. So it's very important. And again, I work hand in hand with professional carpet cleaning people like Steve.
Yeah, sorry, Joe, but I was going to jump in here because, at my age, I don't want to forget what I was going to say. That oftentimes we get houses where people have been smokers. And we always thought that, you can't get rid of smoke even if you encapsulate it in new paint. Now, my understanding is your system actually can get rid of smoke odor.
I do, and here's the thing. It's not good if people paint over it because paint is porous. It dries porous. So the smoke will leach back out again. But I treat homes that have been painted over, and I get rid of the smoke smell because really what I'm doing is I'm getting rid of the carbon. I'm actually eliminating the carbon, turning it into protein fragments. I'm actually eliminating the nicotine because I don't know if you've probably seen some of these houses, Tish, where you walk in and they pull the pictures off the wall, and you thought it was a yellow walls when you walked in, and underneath the pictures there's all these white rectangles. So now I can't get rid of that stain, but I'll get rid of the smoke odor. I'll get rid of the actual nicotine and carbon. So it's really critical. Still, of course, very important to have the carpets cleaned or replaced many times.
I would think that, this is one of those areas where it's so easy when it's your home to not know the smell of your home.
Oh, yeah.
People put their house on the market, and it never occurs to them because this is where they live day in and day out, and that smell is just in their brain. It's normal. But we've all walked into that house and went, oh, they have dogs.
Yeah, absolutely. Or children.
Or children. Yes. Oh, they have children and dogs.
Well, I'll walk in. I'll walk in just from the driveway. I won't even get to the front door. The front door's open, and it just hits you in the face. But you're right, Joe. To these people, to them, it just smells like their house. They're so used to it. But to everybody filling a comment card out at an open house, that house smells bad.
Yeah. It's we have all downstairs in our house. We have a hardwood in our living room, and we have tile in the kitchen and that type of thing. And I've got 2 kids and a dog and 2 cats and everything else. Every day, and I'm definitely OCD, I guess, because I sweep the floor like 20 times a day.
Kim must be very happy.
Yes. Yeah. I swear.
Can you come over to my house?
I sweep up at least a cat every day. I'm like, how is this possible? Where does all this hair? There's not that much hair on the animal. And all I can think is if there was carpet here, that's just all getting in the carpet. I mean, it grosses me out, actually.
Well,
is.
and it's also cat dander. A lot of real estate professionals will notice when they show a home, they may bring someone into the home that breaks out in almost like hives on their arms and their neck and their face, and it's from cat dander. And this electrocatalytic technology that I use is the only thing I've found that really eliminates cat dander, and it makes such a huge difference because a person can love a home, can be the right location, it can be a wonderful floor plan, but if they can't be in the home, it's just no good for them. So I have lab test results that have been done with my equipment. I also have doctors' recommendations for it. And I just wanted to mention the phone number in case anybody wants to call. It's 832-276-6000. It's cleanair.com, CLEANEAIR.com.
But also, Vaughan, you were saying that the government agencies have been contacting you to make their environment more sterile and clean and things of that nature.
Actually, that's true. There are some government agencies that deal with highly toxic items, and I do work and provide equipment on a lease basis to some of these organizations in the government that deal with things that are very unhealthy for their people to be around. So it's an extremely effective yet affordable technology.
So, and some arenas of the government do stink. Then is what you're saying. Is that
According to the newspapers, apparently quite a few of them.
Wow.
Now,
you could keep busy just with the government alone.
Yeah, and get us all audited.
That's another
too,
show.
probably.
Actually.
That's another show, yeah. And get us all audited, yeah. Way to go, Rob. We're on the IRS hit list
we're
now.
on the hit list now. Vaughan, now, is there any odor that you can't get rid of?
Some are definitely harder to get rid of than others. Curry is really tough, but I can get it out. I offer a 1-year warranty with the work that I do. So if the odor comes back, smoke can come leaching back through the walls. It does happen. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen. So I offer a 12-month warranty, and I really only ran into one that was just really going to take an awful long time. And it wasn't in this state. It was in another state. And it involved a lady that had over 20 cats living in a house for more than 20 years, and the carpets were wet for 20 years. And it was just going to take longer. I mean, eventually, but there are some that you just, you really need to demolish, and that was one that I did run into.
And so the other thing that I remember you telling me a long time ago is a lot of people will call you and get rid of the smell or whatever it is that's bothering them, but they reintroduce it.
Well, it's really key, and it seems like such common sense, but common sense is very uncommon. And if you're gonna, and I'll just lay it out there, if you're going to put your house on the market and you have cats in your home, and you have me come out and treat the home to get rid of the cat dander and the cat odor and really sterilize that home, you need to leave the cats out until it's sold. Don't reintroduce the cats, because guess what? They'll go, this doesn't smell right. We'll fix that. So it's really important. You just have to follow some common sense. Don't smoke in your house again after it's treated. Just some things like that you need to know. And it's difficult for people sometimes.
But Vaughan, Pilgrims can't stay out overnight.
Well, we're definitely going to get calls now. I think Tish may agree with me on this, is that oftentimes that I will recommend if they have a dog or cat is to find a new place for them for a temporary basis. Send them over to your neighbors, your friends, your daughters, whatever, and get that animal out of the house, because they're going to be pretty traumatized by the showing process.
Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking maybe I could make the case for I'm planning on selling my house in the next year or two, and we should start keeping our cats over at some friend's house.
Yeah, there you go.
There.
Yeah, the other thing about the pets really quickly is that pets, everybody thinks that their pet is going to be fine with the strangers around and everything, but pets totally react differently around strangers than they do when the homeowner is there. And so I've had clients call very upset that they didn't listen to me about taking the pet someplace else because the pet has now run away and they can't find it. So please, folks, find another place for your cat while strangers are coming through your house.
And since you're hiring professionals to help you with the sale of your home, please take their advice, because these people have done it hundreds of times. And it's, you're paying them. Take their advice and let them help you get the best price for your home and sell it as quickly as you can.
Yeah, and right now the selling process is reasonably short. But you can go, dial back a few years, and of course the process was more like around 70 days. So that it's difficult. So you're going to be showing it for 70 days, and the way you sell a house is not the way you live in a house, and that's something that's a mantra of mine. I know you can't live this way full time, but for this period of time, we need to do it. Just like you walk into a new sales office in a new construction, how that wow factor is, and people are looking at stuff. You want that same results.
You do. You really do. It's really important. And I think in our next segment, we're actually going to segue in to talk about Steve and Belco and carpet cleaning, carpet replacement, and another very, very extremely important factor that really dovetails into what we've been talking about so far today.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're coming up on a break right now. And any additional comments? I see you over there percolating, Joe.
I was just going to say, we've got like 10 seconds. I was going to say give your number again, Vaughan. But
I will. It's 832-276-6000. Clean Air Services, cleanair.com, CLEANEAIR.com.
So, there we go.
Lukewarm cold water flat with room for a couple.
Going home to a space that inspires you from the minute you walk in is a luxury we all dream about. Why not make it a reality? Guillen home design options are thoughtful and sophisticated and will continue to surprise you. A Guillen home means architectural details, impressive amenities, and dramatic design features that suit your individual taste. After all, you have a distinctive sense of style. Your home should too. Guillen Homes is consistently recognized for exceptional design, with awards including 2010 Builder of the Year, 2010 Star Awards, and Best Product Design. You want the best home for your family, and you also deserve the best home buying experience. Guillen Homes offers a personal approach to home building with a commitment to thorough professional service. Visit GuillenHomes.com to see special offers and promotions. That's GEHAN Homes.com. Guillen Homes, designed for your life.
Clean Air Services provides the highest quality surface and airborne contamination elimination services available to residential and commercial customers. The treatment utilizes a high-output biocleanser to eradicate microorganisms, airborne and surface contaminants from the home or office. Call 832-276-6000. Effective and long-lasting, especially effective to eliminate bacteria and pathogens in schools, locker rooms, weight training facilities, and classrooms. Call Clean Air Services for clean air and a healthy body. Call 832-276-6000. Cleanair.com, CLEANEAIR.com.
Ma'am, I'm sorry. Your application was denied for credit reasons.
I'm sorry, sir. Your credit score is too low to qualify for a home loan at this time.
No.
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 No. No.
Are you tired of being turned down for credit? Have your dreams of home ownership, a new car, or even a promotion at work been shot down because of poor credit issues? Well, it's time to start dreaming again. Improve My Credit USA, the consumer-voted #1 credit repair company in Texas for 3 years running, can help you find a new direction for your credit. For a free consultation, dial 281-914-4116. That's 281-914-4116. It's a complimentary consultation, and a certified credit consultant is waiting to speak to you right now. Start dreaming again and call today. 281-914-4116. Improve My Credit USA.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Rat Pack Radio Show with Chris, Joe, and Rob. The crew is taking your calls, so dial in at 1-800-808-5548.
All right, and we're back to the really big show. 800-808-5548. Folks, we've got a lot of experts here today. And, Vaughan is one of the funniest guys I know that we get to hang out with. And yet he has such a serious product.
Yes, he does.
It's serious business over there.
Very technical.
Very technical. So now I know why you're funny all the time, because your work is so technical.
I'm serious part of the time, so I can be...
funny the rest of the time.
Frivolous the rest of the time.
Yes, absolutely. So, we were talking about the process that you do, and, even just from, obviously the show is about positioning your house for the greatest value, and getting rid of the dog smell and the crazy smells is a big part of positioning the house for the best value. But you have a really great product for Houston because of all the allergies and all that stuff. My wife had suffered from allergies, and I know a lot of people in Houston do, and it's a great product for that. But we had moved from that, talking about that, to how does that affect carpet and that sort of thing? And while it can definitely kill the odors and that type of thing and really take care of a big factor there, you can't fix ugly just by removing the smell. So that brings us up to our next guest, who happens to be also a great sponsor of the show, and his son also, as Rob mentioned earlier, Josh, takes care of all of our website design and always does a great job for us there. So definitely, if you ever need a good web designer, look us up or hop on the webpage, and you can get Josh's information. But today, Steve is on the air here, and we're going to talk about some carpet. Steve, introduce yourself.
Well, I'm Steve Belland, and I own Belco Carpet Cleaning. We handle all the carpet cleaning needs that real estate agents have or individuals have. They're selling their homes, or just because you have a dirty carpet. We also take care of tile and grout. We also take care of upholstery equipment, upholstery, and basically what we try to do is go in and evaluate the carpet, the tile and grout, especially for realtors or someone that's looking to sell their home, and determine the best way to clean it. Or sometimes there are times where cleaning is just not going to do it, and you have to replace that carpet. Typically, tile and grout in the kitchens, because of cooking, you get a lot of grease down in that grout lines. And everybody out there listening right now, if you're at home, all you have to do is take a look at your kitchen versus your maybe where your kitchen table might sit, and you'll see a difference, several shades difference in your grout lines. So that's one of the key points that we always kind of look at and talk to our customers about.
That's kind of cool. I didn't know you perform that service, but that's a great addition. I'd imagine from a staging perspective too. It's one of those details that my wife would notice that I would never notice.
Well, I can't remember what the percentage is, but if you think about the largest thing in your house is your floor.
Yeah,
the very largest thing. So obviously, that's going to be the most noticeable. And Nick, would you agree with that? Is that one of the first things you're going to tell them is like, get that carpet clean or change it?
Absolutely, it is. As you say, it's the first thing you're going to see when you walk in. People typically look down, and the quality of the floors is also very expensive to replace floors.
Absolutely.
And people, after you spend money on the down payment and to move, last thing you want to do is also have to then replace floors and spend all that cash. So the more you can do that for a buyer, the better.
Absolutely. Well, you know what? One of the worst headaches I ever had in my life, migraine, off lights, hang towels over the windows kind of thing, was I cleaned all the grout in the kitchen with no ventilation. I don't know what I was thinking, but I'm gonna make the wife
and bleach, right? You just went ahead and made nerve gas and then stayed in there
exactly. And I mean, it absolutely just fried my brain. I was holed up in the bedroom for a solid day, just moaning.
Yeah, well, that explains so much.
Nowadays
dropped
they
10
have
IQ points.
Nowadays they have eco-friendly chemicals that actually get down into the grout. And we let it dwell for 5 to 10 minutes, and then we have machinery that comes in that actually extracts, throws down 1,000 psi of hot steam and water down onto your grout and tile face, and then we extract that water almost instantaneously, and you'll be amazed after that dries, the shades that just disappear. Sometimes we can get it to look almost brand new. Other times, you might have a little bit. It just depends how old the house is. And what's really important out there is a lot of folks don't seal their grout.
Yes.
Right? And that's what happens. So what we always offer is a sealing process as well.
Yeah, grout is extremely porous.
Oh, yeah.
And I know people who have gotten tile out there and it looks so beautiful that when they installed it, and 3 months later, it's like variations of tones in the grout line. And
none of the builders are really sealing the tile and grout after they put it in.
And there's two types of sealants right now. Isn't there one that's kind of an epoxy sealant, and the one that is typically what you would find at a Home Depot? Or
Right. We have an industrial sealer that's epoxy, and what we do with that, there's two different ways of doing it. You can actually seal the tile face and the grout at one time, and you get a bit of a bling out of that, if you will. Meaning that most tiles, travertines are less bright or shiny, but most ceramic tiles have what I call a satin finish to it. When you do seal, you'll get a little higher gloss on it, much more than if you waxed, and I don't recommend waxing tile for most people. But a good seal will give it a little more of a bling to your floor, and at the same time, you can drop anything you want on that floor. I have the same thing at my house, and when this discussion comes up at my home, and we have something like some Kool-Aid or whatever around the house, you can actually throw it on your floor, and people kind of look astonished that I'm doing that. But the cleanup is just with just a paper towel.
I have a one of those leave it to the expert stories. So I have a hardwood floor area, and I mentioned the dog and the 2 cats and the 2 kids and constant floor cleaning and my OCD nature about that. And I was just going down the aisle at the grocery store and saw some hardwood floor cleaner. At least I thought it was.
This doesn't sound like it's going to end well.
And it turns out it wasn't hardwood floor. It was cleaner. It was furniture polish. And
yeah, I can see how you get that confused.
Wow.
There was multiple injuries for about
you could
about
skate,
2
right?
weeks.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
It was fun watching the kids slide by, wasn't it?
Yes, and what was great about it was that I figured that out like halfway through the cleaning job. So there was only certain areas of the room that were like slippery as glass. So
don't do this, home folks. Call the expert.
Bossy, I bet Bossy loved that. Huh?
Yes, it was actually pretty comical to watch as people gingerly cruise through the polished areas.
Yeah. Now, I know that Nick and Tish will agree with me on this, is oftentimes we'll tell people, that carpet really needs to be replaced. I mean, what can you do with carpet and what can you not do with carpet? Because I know some things just aren't going to clean.
Well, I mean, there's actual physical damage to a carpet, and a lot of times you'll see that on the stairs. If you have cats, they like to claw on it. That's why we have those toys that we buy for our cats.
But they always prefer your leather
cigarette
couch.
burns we've seen that can be repaired. There are things that we can do, and that's why we always do a walkthrough first, take a good look at it. Many people that think they have to replace their carpet are surprised when we're done. With a lot of realtors, we've offered, let us clean it first, and then if it needs to be replaced, we can work with you on the replacement. But basically, there's inorganic and organic stains that we look at. The organic stains usually come up relatively easy. That's your coffee stains. That's some of your juices without synthetic dyes. When you get into inorganic stains, that's your blues, your reds, your yellows. That's where it gets more difficult. And steam cleaning it can fade those, but it really doesn't pull them out. And there's some other processes with an iron, cheesecloth, those kind of things, and some specialty chemicals that do help break up. But sometimes the carpet gets bleached.
No, a lot of times it's like pet stains. Was what I saw a lot of. Is that Fido had an accident in the living room and it left a big ring, and even though they tried to clean it, what can you do for that?
Well, pet stains are a little different animal, if you will.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. And this is something that Vaughan can speak about odors as well. But when we go in and we see a lot of pet stains, we use a different chemical. They're live enzymes. And those live enzymes actually eat at the ammonia crystals that are attached to your fiber. And it happens that chemical reaction happens relatively quickly. But there are times where there's been a part of that house or part of that carpet where the animal smells and it uses it as a toilet. And
it's exactly right. See, what you can do is you can get that out of the carpet.
Mm-hmm.
Many times you can get the stains out. But I'll have people come to me and they'll say, well, we've treated the carpet, we painted the walls, and it still smells like cats in here. And that's because the bacteria actually sporulates, becomes airborne.
Yeah.
So that's why it's
You've
important.
been wanting to say sporulate all day, haven't you?
Yes, yes. It's a big word. We like big words here on the radio. It makes us feel smart. So
sporulatification.
But this is why it's really important for me to work together with Belco and these kinds of things, because together we can really make that happen and get that house sold and make everybody happy.
And that's the number one goal. And of course, today we're talking about how to enhance your value. I don't have a statistic, and maybe Tish, she was talking about that you can get 7% greater by staging it, but I don't have any kind of idea what you would get for having a great smell when you walk in the house. I do know it makes a big difference in selling it or not selling it.
If you think about it, the olfactory sense, the sense of smell, is the strongest trigger to memory.
I think we mentioned that earlier.
So we did over a donut, I think. So it is very important.
Something I want to make sure we have time for, Steve. You are a sponsor of the show, and we always love making sure our sponsors get plenty of press. As we mentioned, folks, everybody we have on the show is an expert at what they do, and we stand by them as a company and individuals and that type of thing. Steve, you have a Friends of the Pack deal for our listeners?
I do, yeah. Well, I do. You can, first of all, you can reach us at 281-239-0222 or at www.belcoclean.com. But anybody that calls in or calls those numbers will get an immediate 10% off your standard carpet cleaning, tile and grout. If you do a package deal, we do a whole house package where we clean all the carpet and do the tile and grout. And on those deals, we give it 20% off. And we can discuss, each house is a little bit bigger or smaller, so we discuss pricing.
So, and Friends of the Pack, I mean, like Tish and Nick can get that as well?
Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely.
He's also on our
And even
website,
Vaughan.
folks, realestateratpack.com. You can just go there and click on sponsors, and you'll see Steve and his company listed on our website.
And we're coming pretty close to a break again. I don't know how this keeps happening.
We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
That's right.
My life is gonna be.
Going home to a space that inspires you from the minute you walk in is a luxury we all dream about. Why not make it a reality? Guillen home design options are thoughtful and sophisticated and will continue to surprise you. A Guillen home means architectural details, impressive amenities, and dramatic design features that suit your individual taste. After all, you have a distinctive sense of style. Your home should too. Guillen Homes is consistently recognized for exceptional design, with awards including 2010 Builder of the Year, 2010 Star Awards, and Best Product Design. You want the best home for your family, and you also deserve the best home buying experience. Guillen Homes offers a personal approach to home building with a commitment to thorough professional service. Visit GuillenHomes.com to see special offers and promotions. That's GEHAN Homes.com. Guillen Homes, designed for your life.
Are you looking to finance a new home or refinance your existing home? Look no further. Call Chris Kelso at Willow Bend Mortgage. Willow Bend Mortgage is a mortgage banker in the greater Houston area. In business since 1993, Willow Bend Mortgage offers a great array of products from FHA, VA, and USDA loans to conventional and jumbo loans, all with great rates and incredible service from Chris and his staff. Call Chris Kelso at Willow Bend Mortgage today, 713-256-9138, or online at chriskelso.com. Again, that's 713-256-9138 or online at chriskelso.com. Available 24 hours a day. Great rates, exceptional service. That's Willow Bend Mortgage.
When you're buying or selling real estate, you can trust Prudential Anderson Properties, the fastest growing real estate company in Houston. Prudential Anderson Properties has over 300 trained professional realtors ready to serve you in 15 locations throughout Houston and across the state. Whether you're buying, selling, or leasing, Prudential Anderson Properties is the smart choice. Check us out at AndersonProps.com. That's AndersonProps.com. Find out why so many choose Prudential Anderson Properties for all their real estate needs. You know us. We know real estate.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Rat Pack Radio Show with Chris, Joe, and Rob. The crew is taking your calls, so dial in at 1-800-808-5548.
What?
Ready to go.
On air? What do
back.
you mean?
It happened so quickly.
We are professionals, people. Please don't try this at home. We say this all the time. Not everybody's sitting around going, I'm going to do a radio show. And then I heard these guys, and I realized that they're idiots and can't do it either.
That's right. And of course, and just to remind everybody out there, we have Nick Will with the Will & Will brokerage firm that covers the Spring and Woodlands area. And then we were talking about him, and he said, thanks for dropping this in my lap. But basically, the realtor often becomes the conductor of all these things that we're talking about. So, Nick, kind of go over, like, you're coming to someone's house, and you're going to start talking to them about how to enhance and position the house in the market. And so start from that point.
Sure. Well, the first thing you want to do is walk through the house and have people tell you about their house. That's the first thing I like. I like to hear what someone likes about their house, because chances are a buyer is going to be attracted to the same things. So they'll go through and say what they particularly enjoy, and that gives you good selling points that you can do. At the same time, I might be making mental notes in my head about, okay, we're going to need to talk about something that you're not seeing, so you get a sense of what the person's blind spots might be. And, and that helps you then later in the conversation about, okay, well, you can compliment everything, and then you can say, all right, these are some challenges. And it's never personal, because I tell people there's nothing wrong with the way you're living. There's nothing wrong with the way your house is decorated. It's beautiful. There's nothing bad about having white appliances. I have white appliances, but you're positioning the house to sell in the market right now, in this market. So we're not really talking about design as we were talking about earlier. This is just a thin slice of what to do for selling your house right now in this market.
I think it's something that's so critical for a person to get the concept of. When we say always use an expert, this whole show is a great example of why. Because there's nothing more personal than where you live, your home. And it's so difficult to step outside of your personal likes and interests and that type of thing, and be objective and see through other people's eyes when it comes to something so near and dear to you as your home.
It is very, very personal, and so that's a great segue to the question I wanted to ask Nick. Is that how do you have that fierce conversation? Basically, you know what, your house stinks. And so, what I mean, and you could probably say,
your collection.
Do you have cats?
Well, it's also, it can be easy if you just say, it's not doing me any favors or you any favors for me to lie to you. So let me just be upfront. I'm detecting this or that. Have you detected it? Have you had neighbors over? And some people say, I've had friends and neighbors and come in and nobody smells it. And you say, okay, well, we'll find out in the first week that it's on the market. Let 3, 4, 5 people come in and give the feedback. And that's then sometimes when we come back to the table.
People love my massive stuffed iguana collection.
Yeah.
All my friends love.
All of my friends love it. They all talk about it.
Tish on the break was talking about she's had someone that had 182 elephants in there, and so that is something that is truly near and dear to people's hearts, is their little collection, their personal stuff.
How many times can you genuinely get to use the line, folks, we need to talk about the elephant in the room?
So, again,
I mean, seriously.
Were these porcelain figurines, or are we talking a very large house?
Yeah. But the bottom line, you can't wait to put the house in the market. You've got to have that fierce conversation with like this stuff's got to go. How do you tell them that?
Well, again, you just depersonalize it. You say, I love them. I talk about, my quirks and what I collect, which I'm not going to get into.
That's a whole that's another show. That comes on later on a different station.
But again, it's not a personal process. They have the same goal that you do. We all have the same goal, which is to sell the house, get this transaction, and get them through this life event and on to where they're going. So when you can get the conversation into that mindset, I think it becomes a lot easier. There's nothing wrong with your elephants. I love elephants.
Elephants are so cool.
They are cool. And I
just
might
not
even love the
182
collection,
of them.
But you don't. Yeah, I mean, if you walk
Here now,
I don't know who wouldn't understand that if you walk into a house and there's 185 elephants surrounding the place, that you're quickly going to become the elephant house.
Yeah.
And you're not going to.
you might be perceived as odd.
You might be perceived as odd, but you're going to miss the house.
Yes.
You're going to miss the features, the custom features. You're going to miss everything that people are paying for. They're not buying that collection.
Yeah, you end up buying the sizzle and not the steak in the case of that. So, you were talking on the break about the market, and of course we know a lot of areas are extremely hot. We're getting multiple work inside the Loop and Katy and areas like that, and even in the Woodlands.
Oh yeah,
that's getting multiple offers on things, and it's going bad. But you said it's not like that everywhere.
It's not like that everywhere. Well, I'm a bit of a contrarian. I don't think that we are in a true seller's market, and I know that there are plenty of sellers probably listening, or agents with listings that have been on for a while saying, "Why is my house not selling? It's not happening for me." Buyers, and I say that because buyers aren't paying anything for anything. There are things that are moving and can move well, and then there are some homes that need a lot of what we've been talking about here to be on the market so that buyers will buy. There are a lot of buyers right now who don't have to buy, and they are circling overhead. And I think sellers need to understand that if your house is not selling, find out what you need to unlock and do so that someone will swoop down.
One of the exercises I always do is like, lace up your Adidas. We're in a competition. Yes, your house is special, just like everyone else's. So, and I'll often take them over to other houses and say, look, this is what your competition's doing. They get very emotionally attached to their house. And again, I think you're right. You have to kind of detach them from that. It's like, look what's out there. So what we're talking about today is positioning that house to not only sell quickly, but to enhance its greatest value. So when you're having that dialogue, what do you tell them? If you come in there and you see dirty carpet, paint need to be done, clutter gotten out of there.
And you said it a little bit earlier, it can be the difference between selling and not selling. And those are some of the critical factors that, and why I don't think it's a pure seller's market, that buyers aren't going to come in and say, okay, yeah, I'm going to dump another 10 grand replacing floors or taking care of the problems that are there. But you take care of those problems up front, and then like Tish was saying, yeah, you're not only going to sell faster, you're going to get more money for it. And these days, like you were saying, Rob, used to be you could be on the market for 70 days before people question, what's wrong. Now, if you're on the market for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, people are getting worried.
What's wrong?
So,
times have changed.
Sellers always have to do all their work up front, and that's true before you go on the market. Like you said, make sure it's ready to go on the market, and do all of your due diligence then, because once it's on the market, you risk having some decaying interest. I always describe going on the market as like dropping a line in the water, for fishing, and you have a certain pool of fish in the water right now, and you want an early bite, a quick bite. Because if you don't, then you're kind of waiting for a new fish to swim along, and that can take a long process.
And you probably have found this to be true, and I think it's universally true, that if you overprice or don't position your home correctly in the very beginning, that ultimately you will take a lesser price.
You will
90 days down the road.
You will. That, and when it's overpriced, then how you handle the price deductions. I mean, you see people reducing $1,000, $2,000, something like that, and I call that the slow bleed, because you're not adjusting the price enough for it to have any kind of impact. So if you want to go on at a certain price and you're being aspirational, great, do it. But if it's not working, have in mind what your next price point is going to be, and make sure you're making a splash when you do it.
And of course, you probably have that in the listing presentations. So basically, said you are going to give them a CMA and basically say, based on what I see and what's here, this is what you can get in this open market. And so, and they say, well, you know what, Nick, I think we can get more than that. And do you do a kind of a trial basis with them, or are you adamant about saying this is the price?
You said you're an educator at heart, and I am too. I just want to make sure everyone has all the information. So whenever I do that, I'm showing them all the facts, and I'm telling them why I think what I think, but what they think is also important. And I'll just say, all right, well, I'll give them a sense of what an uphill climb we might be facing. But I'm gonna work the same no matter what we do.
Here, this is a great this whole show for me is all. This is the best example of why to engage an expert in what each of these folks do. It's so critical to make that, if you made no other decision about selling your house than to make sure you use experts at what they do, because we already have statistics for for sale by owner versus using a realtor. Sells for more, sells faster. It's a fact, right? We already have statistics from Tish over here that a staged home sells for more, sells faster. We don't have statistics, but I'm sure they're out there.
We'll make up some.
Yeah, we'll make up something.
Think about real world. If you had to drop the price of a home because it stinks, would you drop it the $500 or the $900 it takes to fix that?
That's exactly right.
Or would you drop it $5,000?
That's exactly right.
Beautiful point.
And that leads to a question. Of course, we're running short on time here. Is that do you find yourself that you're orchestrating this on behalf of your clients, where you'll be calling a Tish or a Steve or a Vaughan to help them?
Yeah, like you said, we're the conductor, so we're the resource that's closest to the seller, and the seller's going to rely on us to help them do whatever they need to do.
And when you start getting into markets where people don't want to do it, what are you just saying? You know what? We'll try it for a while, and then
you have to. Yeah.
Well, we want to make
sure. Down, sure.
Well, we want to make sure that people know how to get a hold of you. So let's give the folks your information right quick
Oh,
so
sure.
they can
Easy.
reach out to the expert.
Easy enough. WillAndWill.com. My partner is my mother. We're both brokers. It's Will and Will Real Estate Brokers. So WILLANDWILL.com.
Excellent. Very good.
And that phone number?
281-367-4820.
So if you're in that Spring or Woodlands area, give them a call.
Real quick, let's give everybody an exit number. We're down to 10 seconds. Hurry.
Clean Air is 832-276-6000.
Belco Carpet Cleaning, 281-239-0222.
Show Condition Home Staging is 832-816-5235.
And we're off.
And you've been listening to the Real Estate Rat Pack. The question is, who's Frank, who's Sammy, who's Dean, and who's the other guy?
Chris is Frank,
I'm
he's
Dean.
Dean, and I'm Sammy.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So tune in to the Real